The email arrived at 9:47 a.m. Subject line: Important update. Client transition. I opened it during a budget review meeting. My phone was face down on the table, but the notification made it vibrate twice. I picked it up, read the first line. Then I read it again. The meeting continued around me, numbers on a screen, someone asking about Q3 projections. I set the phone back down. My name is Harper, and I managed client relationships for a boutique marketing agency in London. 15 accounts, 8 figures in annual revenue, 3 years without a single client loss. The email was from our CEO. It was addressed to the full executive team, the board, and all senior staff, 23 people. It said that our largest client, a luxury hospitality group worth £2.4 million annually, had decided not to renew their contract. It said the relationship had deteriorated over the past 6 months due to poor account management and lack of strategic vision. It said the loss was a significant setback, but that leadership was committed to learning from the failure. My name appeared once, in the second paragraph. Despite Harper's efforts, the client expressed dissatisfaction with our responsiveness and creative output. I locked my phone. The budget meeting ended 11 minutes later. I returned to my desk, opened my laptop, and checked my personal email. There was a message from the client, the managing director, sent 4 hours earlier. Subject line: Excited to continue. The body was 2 sentences. Contract renewal signed this morning. Looking forward to another great year working with you. I read it twice. Then I forwarded it to a folder I'd created 6 months ago. The folder was labeled Client Communications, Direct. It contained 47 emails, all from the same client, all sent to my personal address, not my company email, all discussing strategy, timelines, and satisfaction with my work. I closed the folder. Then I opened the CEO's email again and read the line about poor account management. I didn't reply. I didn't forward the client's message to anyone. I just saved it. And I waited. The CEO called an all-hands meeting for that afternoon, 2:00. I arrived at 1:58, took a seat in the middle row, not front, not back. The CEO entered at 2:03. His assistant followed with a laptop and projector. He started with revenue numbers. Strong Q2. Projected growth in Q3. Then he shifted tone. As most of you saw in this morning's email, we lost the Belmont account. Belmont, the hospitality group. This is a significant loss. £2.4 million annually. One of our founding clients. I want to be transparent about what happened. The client expressed concerns about our service quality, specifically account management and strategic oversight. He didn't say my name. He didn't need to. Everyone had read the email. We're conducting a full review of our client relationship protocols. This can't happen again. The meeting lasted 18 minutes. I didn't ask questions. I didn't make eye contact. When it ended, I returned to my desk and opened the project management system. I pulled the Belmont account history. Every meeting, every deliverable, every invoice. 31 months of work. Client satisfaction scores, 94% average. Renewal rate, 100%. Contract value increase, 23% year over year. I exported the data to a spreadsheet. Then I reviewed my personal email folder again. The 47 messages weren't just pleasantries. They were detailed strategy discussions, creative approvals, timeline confirmations. 7 of them explicitly praised my work. Your insights on the Q1 campaign were exactly what we needed. The rebrand execution was flawless. I trust your judgment completely on this. I scrolled to the most recent message, the one from this morning. Contract renewal signed this morning. Looking forward to another great year working with you. Timestamp, 5:42 a.m. The CEO's email went out at 9:47 a.m., 4 hours later. I closed my laptop. At 4:15, the HR director sent a calendar invitation. Performance discussion, Harper. Scheduled for tomorrow, 10 a.m. I accepted without comment. That evening, I went home and made tea. I didn't check work email. I didn't rehearse responses. I just sat and thought about timing. The next morning, I arrived at 8:30. The HR director's office was on the 3rd floor. She was already there when I knocked. Harper, come in. Close the door. I sat in the chair across from her desk. She opened a folder. Paper documents, not digital. I want to discuss the Belmont situation. The CEO has asked me to conduct a formal review of your account management. He's concerned about the factors that led to the non-renewal. I waited. Can you walk me through your relationship with the client? Specifically, any challenges you encountered in the last 6 months. There were no challenges. She looked up. None? The client was satisfied with our work. Engagement was strong, deliverables were on time and on budget. But they didn't renew. That's what the CEO's email said. She studied me. Do you disagree with that assessment? I paused. I have documentation of the client relationship. If it would be helpful for your review, I can provide it. What kind of documentation? Meeting notes, project timelines, client feedback, correspondence? Please send that to me by end of day. I will. The meeting lasted 12 minutes. I went back to my desk and compiled a package. 18 months of meeting notes, every project summary, every approval email, all from my company account, all standard protocol. I sent it to HR at 3:47 p.m. Subject line, Belmont account documentation, as requested. Then I opened a new folder in my personal cloud storage. I uploaded the 47 emails from my personal address, the ones the client had sent directly to me. I labeled the folder Belmont, External Communications. I didn't send these to HR. Not yet. The following Monday, the CEO sent another email. Subject line, Client Transition Update. Following the Belmont account loss, I'll be personally overseeing all client relationships over £1 million annually. This will ensure consistent service quality and strategic alignment at the executive level. Account managers will continue day-to-day coordination, but all strategic decisions and client meetings will include executive oversight. He listed 5 accounts. 4 of them were mine. I checked the calendar. I had a strategy session scheduled with another major client on Wednesday, a luxury retail brand. £1.8 million annually. The CEO had added himself to the meeting. I didn't remove him. I didn't send a clarification email. I just updated my notes and continued working. Wednesday arrived. The client meeting was at 11 a.m. Video call. I joined at 10:58. The CEO joined at 11:04. The client's marketing director was already on screen. Morning, Harper. Good to see you. Morning, Diane. The CEO unmuted. Diane, Marcus here, CEO. I wanted to join today's session to ensure we're aligned on strategic priorities. Diane's expression shifted slightly. Professional. Polite. Of course. Harper usually handles strategy with us, but happy to have you here. The CEO smiled. Great. Harper's excellent at execution. I just want to make sure we're thinking big picture. Execution, not strategy. Execution. I took notes. The meeting lasted 40 minutes. The CEO spoke for 22 of them. I spoke for 6. At the end, Diane said, Harper, can you send over the updated timeline we discussed last week? I'll send it this afternoon. The CEO added, I'll review it before it goes out, just to make sure we're aligned. Diane paused. That's not necessary. Harper knows our needs. I appreciate that, but with the recent Belmont situation, I want to be more hands-on. Silence on the call. Then Diane said, Understood. Harper, send it directly to me when it's ready. We'll discuss if anything needs adjustment. Will do. The call ended. My phone buzzed 30 seconds later. A text from Diane. My personal number. Is everything okay? That was unusual. I typed back. All fine. I'll send the timeline shortly. I sent the timeline at 2:15 p.m., directly to Diane. I didn't copy the CEO. At 4:30, I received another text from Diane. Looks perfect. Approved. I forwarded the approval to the project team. Then I added the text exchange to my documentation folder. The pattern continued for 2 weeks. The CEO inserted himself into every major client interaction. Meetings, emails, strategy reviews. My role shrank from relationship owner to task coordinator. In the 3rd week, I received a call from Belmont's managing director. His name was Simon. He called my personal mobile at 6:47 p.m. on a Thursday. Harper, do you have a minute? Of course. I received an odd email today from your CEO. He introduced himself as the new primary contact for our account, said he wanted to schedule a strategy session to discuss our goals for the coming year. I kept my voice even. Can I ask when you signed the contract? Last month, March 18th. I sent you the confirmation email that morning. March 18th. The same day the CEO sent the company-wide email saying Belmont hadn't renewed. Simon, who did you send the signed contract to? Your CEO. He reached out in February saying he wanted to personally oversee the renewal, said it was important to him given our long relationship. I closed my eyes briefly. And when did you receive the renewal terms? Mid-February. Your CEO sent them. He said you were transitioning off the account to focus on other priorities, but that he'd personally ensure continuity. Did I ever tell you I was transitioning off your account? Short pause. Silence. Then, no, I assumed it was an internal decision. It wasn't communicated to me. Another pause. Longer this time. Harper, what's going on? I'm not entirely sure yet, but I'm going to find out. Should I be concerned? No, your account is secure. I just need to clarify some internal processes. Okay, but for the record, I signed that renewal because of you, not because of your agency. If you're not managing the account, I need to know. Understood. I'll follow up with you next week. The call ended. I sat in my flat for 20 minutes. Then I opened my laptop. I went to the contract management system, the company database where all client agreements were stored. I searched for Belmont. The contract showed as expired, not renewed. Status date, March 18th. I checked the document history. Last modified, March 18th, 9:34 a.m. Modified by CEO. I took a screenshot. Then I opened my personal email and found Simon's message from March 18th. Contract renewal signed this morning. Looking forward to another great year working with you. Sent at 5:42 a.m. The CEO had marked the contract as expired 4 hours after the client confirmed renewal. I saved everything to my external documentation folder. Then I drafted an email. To HR Director. Subject: Contract discrepancy. Belmont account. I'm writing to clarify a discrepancy regarding the Belmont account. On March 18th, the client confirmed contract renewal via email sent to my personal address at 5:42 a.m. The signed contract was sent to the CEO. On the same day, at 9:47 a.m., the CEO sent a company-wide email stating the client had not renewed. The contract management system shows the Belmont contract as expired, not renewed, last modified by the CEO on March 18th at 9:34 a.m. I've attached documentation including the client's renewal confirmation and system screenshots. I'd appreciate clarification on the status of this account. I attached 4 files: screenshot of the contract system, screenshot of Simon's renewal email, screenshot of the CEO's company-wide announcement, call log showing Simon's recent inquiry. I read the email 3 times. Professional. Factual. No accusations. I sent it at 8:52 p.m. The HR director responded the next morning at 7:14 a.m. Thank you for bringing this to my attention. I'll review the documentation and follow up early next week. Please don't discuss this matter with anyone else in the meantime. I replied, Understood. That day I worked quietly. No client calls, no meetings, just project coordination and documentation review. At 4 p.m., the CEO walked past my desk. He didn't stop, didn't make eye contact, just kept walking. The weekend passed. Monday morning, I received a calendar invitation. Executive Review, Belmont Account. Attendees, CEO, HR Director, General Counsel. Optional attendee, me. Scheduled for Tuesday, 2 p.m. I accepted. Tuesday arrived. I prepared nothing. No presentation, no notes, no defense. I just brought my laptop. At 1:58, I walked to the executive conference room. The CEO was already there. So was the HR director and the general counsel. I sat across from them. The general counsel opened. Harper, thank you for coming. We're reviewing the documentation you submitted regarding the Belmont account. Can you confirm that this email from the client was sent to your personal email address? Yes. Why was the client emailing your personal address? He'd been doing so for approximately 6 months. He preferred direct communication for time-sensitive approvals and strategy questions. All project work and deliverables went through official channels. The personal emails were for coordination. The general counsel made a note. The HR director spoke next. The client confirmed that he signed and returned the renewal contract on March 18th. Is that your understanding? Yes, he told me this during a call last week. And the contract was sent to the CEO? That's what the client said. She turned to the CEO. Do you have the signed contract? The CEO's expression didn't change. I received a version of the contract in mid-March, but the client indicated during our conversation that they were reconsidering the partnership. I interpreted the renewal as tentative. Did the client use the word tentative? The general counsel asked. The CEO paused. Not explicitly. Did they indicate in writing that they were reconsidering? It was a verbal conversation. When? Late February. And you didn't document that conversation? It was informal. The general counsel turned back to me. Harper, did the client ever express dissatisfaction with your work or the agency's performance? Not to me, no. Do you have documentation of client feedback? Yes, I submitted 18 months of meeting notes and correspondence to HR last week. The HR director nodded. I've reviewed that file. Client satisfaction was consistently high. The room was quiet. Then the general counsel said, I need to see the signed contract. If the client submitted it on March 18th, it should be in our records. The CEO shifted slightly. I'll need to check my files. Please do that today. The meeting ended at 2:34 p.m. I returned to my desk. At 5:18 p.m., I received a text from Simon. Your CEO just called me, asked if I'd be open to a revised engagement structure for the coming year, said you were moving to a different portfolio. I told him I'm not interested in revising anything. Our contract is signed. You're our account manager. Is this normal? I replied, I'll follow up with you tomorrow. I forwarded the text to the HR director. No commentary, just the screenshot. She replied 6 minutes later. Noted. Thank you. Wednesday morning, I arrived at 8:45. There was an envelope on my desk. Plain white, no marking. I opened it. Inside was a printed email. From the CEO to Simon, sent February 12th. Simon, as we discussed, I'll be taking over the Belmont relationship personally. Harper has done excellent foundational work, but at this stage, the account requires executive-level strategy. I'm confident this transition will strengthen our partnership. I read it twice. Then I noticed the second page. Simon's reply, same day. I appreciate the offer, but Harper has been exceptional. I'm comfortable continuing with her as primary contact. If executive input is needed for specific initiatives, we can loop you in as necessary. I folded the papers and placed them back in the envelope. Then I noticed a sticky note attached to the front. Handwriting I didn't recognize. Thought you should see this. A friend. I looked around the office. No one was watching. I scanned the email and added it to my documentation folder. At 10 a.m., the general counsel requested another meeting, just her and me. We met in a small conference room on the second floor. She closed the door. I've completed my review. The CEO did receive the signed Belmont contract on March 18th. It's in his email records. He never uploaded it to the contract system. Instead, he marked the account as expired and sent the company-wide email stating the client hadn't renewed. She paused. The client has confirmed they renewed specifically because of your work. They've also confirmed they never expressed dissatisfaction or requested a change in account management. I nodded. Harper, I need to ask you something directly. Do you want to remain at this company? The question surprised me. Why do you ask? Because what happened here is a serious ethical violation. The CEO misrepresented a client's status, misrepresented your performance, and attempted to take credit for a relationship you built and maintained. We can address this internally, but it will be complicated, and I can't guarantee the outcome will be what you want. What do you recommend? That depends on what you want. I thought about it. I want the client relationship protected. I want the truth documented. And I want to leave on my terms. She nodded slowly. I can make that happen. How? You resign, effective in 30 days. During that time, you transition your accounts to people you trust. The Belmont account stays with you through the transition, and the client is informed that you're leaving, but that the relationship will be handled according to their preferences. And the CEO? That's not your concern, but it will be handled. What does handled mean? The board will be informed. His actions violated company policy and damaged client trust. The consequences will be appropriate. I considered. If I resign, does the documentation I provided remain confidential? It becomes part of an internal review. The board will see it, the CEO will be confronted with it, but it won't be made public unless legal action is necessary. And if I don't resign? You stay. You continue working here. The CEO likely remains in his role, possibly with a formal reprimand. Your working relationship becomes impossible. Your clients get reassigned eventually anyway. I understood. I'll resign. Are you certain? Yes. She stood, extended her hand. Thank you for your professionalism throughout this process, and for your integrity. I shook her hand. When do you need the resignation letter? End of day. I went back to my desk. I opened a blank document. I wrote 3 sentences. I am resigning from my position as Senior Account Manager effective 30 days from today. I will ensure a smooth transition of all client relationships during this period. Thank you for the opportunity to work with this team. I printed it, signed it, delivered it to HR at 4:47 p.m. Then I emailed Simon. I wanted to let you know that I've decided to leave the agency. My last day will be in 30 days. During that time, I'll ensure your account is transitioned to someone you trust, and I'll make myself available for any questions or concerns. He called me 11 minutes later. You're leaving because of this, aren't you? I'm leaving because it's the right decision. Harper, if this is about my account, I'll follow you. I'll terminate the contract and work with you independently. I paused. Simon, I appreciate that, but I'm not starting my own agency. Not right now. Then what will you do? I'm not sure yet, but I'll figure it out. Will you stay in touch? If you want me to. I do. Then I will. The next 4 weeks were quiet. I transitioned my accounts. I trained the managers taking over. I documented every process and client preference. The CEO avoided me. We passed each other in hallways, in meetings, at the coffee station. He never spoke, never acknowledged me. I didn't speak to him either. On my second to last day, the HR director called me into her office. I wanted to update you before you leave. The board met yesterday. The CEO has been placed on administrative leave pending a full investigation. The COO is serving as acting CEO. I nodded. The investigation will likely result in termination. The board takes this seriously. I understand. I also want you to know that your documentation was critical. Without it, this outcome wouldn't have been possible. I'm glad it was useful. She smiled slightly. You're very calm about this. It's just facts. Facts speak for themselves. They do. But most people can't stay that calm when they're being undermined. I didn't respond. She handed me an envelope. Your final paycheck and a reference letter, if you ever need one. I took it. Thank you. My last day was a Friday. I packed my desk in the morning. 2 boxes. Photos, a mug, notebooks. I said goodbye to my team. Professional. Brief. At 4:30, I walked out of the building for the last time. I didn't look back. 3 weeks later, I received a LinkedIn message from Simon. Just wanted to let you know. We terminated our contract with the agency. Their new management couldn't deliver what you did. If you ever decide to consult independently, we'd be your first client. I read it twice. Then I saved it. 2 months after that, I started getting calls. Former clients, people I'd worked with, asking if I was available for project work. I took 3 of them. Small contracts, manageable scope. By the end of the year, I had 8 clients, all referrals, all people who'd worked with me before. I didn't advertise, didn't market, didn't pitch. I just did good work, and the work found me. A year later, I ran into the former COO at an industry event. She'd been promoted to CEO after the investigation concluded. "Harper, good to see you." "You too." "I heard you're doing well. Independent consulting?" "Yes." "We could use someone like you, if you're ever interested in coming back." I smiled politely. "I appreciate that, but I'm happy where I am." She nodded. "I understand. For what it's worth, what you did mattered. The company's better because you didn't stay quiet." "I didn't do anything unusual. I just kept records." "That's exactly what made it unusual." We talked for a few more minutes, then I excused myself. I walked to the venue exit and stepped outside. The evening air was cool. The street was quiet. I checked my phone. 3 new client emails, 2 contract renewals, 1 referral request. I replied to all of them. Then I put my phone away and walked home. The work continued. Different structure, same principles. And that was exactly what I'd wanted. Not revenge, not vindication, just the ability to do good work without someone taking credit for it. Because in the end, clients remember who actually served them. And documentation always tells the truth.